Go ahead, ma'am, you're all set.
Alright,
Hi, my name is Shamia Hicks,
my name is Justin Noel.
and we're part of the accountant department, accounting. Okay. Justin, okay.
Oh,
You wanna go
sure.
with the-
I'm Justin Noel. I'll be talking about daily and weekly totals and percent of rooms sold.
And I'm gonna be talking about the percent of occupancy and formulas and calculations.
County has many different departments such as payroll, property accounting, inventory, cash collections, and cash payments. These departments will calculate the budget and analyze trends. This in return will provide effective information for improving cash flow.
We have many objectives, payrolls, make sure everyone's getting paid correctly for the time and work they've done, cash collections, make sure the money's going in the right places, recorded properly, and cash payments is for all the businesses, checks written throughout the year, property taxes, payment of loans, distributing profit of the owners and of the business.
Also, inventory, we keep count on everything in the hotel, from the towels to the soap, and property accounting. Keep track of long-term assets, companies, trucks, cars, office furniture, computers, and the building itself.
Our purpose of the first assignment was to document the number of rooms sold, calculate the daily and weekly totals, percent of rooms sold, analyze budget trends, recording data, use Excel charts and graphs.
Okay.
And
So for the week's our first table, as you can see, in the beginning of the week, we have deluxe. Deluxe and suites are down on sales, but standards are very high. And towards the end of the week, you see deluxe and suites go up and standard go down. I believe that's because it's part of the weekend and everybody was fun or whatever. And for the percent of rooms sold, you can see standard 66% of their rooms sold, which is the highest.
And as you can see for the totals, it starts lower towards the beginning of the week and gets a little higher during the middle of the week and goes low again. The percent of occupancy, if you want to explain that. Percent of occupancy is the amount occupied out of the 200 rooms in a hotel. So for every 33 deluxe, 12 suites and 105 standard out of 200, the percent adds up. Did I go to the next slide? The percent goes to just over 75% occupancy, which is pretty good. And actually, this is the second week of April where the percentages increase. So if we go back one slide, first it was 75%, and now it's 80 to 82%.
And as you see, from week 1 to week 2, it's pretty similar. The percent of rooms sold for standard went up 1%, and but after that, it's pretty similar.
And this was also one of our earlier charts where we noticed that the standard rooms went up the most during the second week of approaching the Easter weekend, which was after the second week. And actually that was the week before it was higher. So the second week of 82%, the percentage increased the most.
As you can see, standard is way higher than suites and deluxe, probably because it's less expensive.
Less expensive and more rooms available.
This is week 3 or week 4?
Week 4.
Week 4, same situation. As you can see, standard again, 70%, deluxe 22%, and suites 8. very similar to the other 3 weeks.
Except for the second week had the most. All the other weeks had pretty much the same amount. And this is the number of rooms sold, the total for all 4 weeks of April. Standard, of course, is the most rooms sold. And the totals pretty much stay the same except for the second week of April, which is the highest.
Okay, so for the first part of the project, we found out that standard rooms totaled the highest number of rooms sold for every day of the week in April. The amount of standard rooms sold are highest during the beginning of the week. The amount of deluxe and suite rooms sold are highest toward the end of the week. The highest weekly total of all rooms sold was in the second week of April.
A purpose for the second part of the project, we wanted to calculate the maximum and average for the weekly sheets, to formulate the daily totals at a less than 75% accuracy and a percent decrease of the number of rooms sold each week. Compare the potential percentages increase using data analysis and provide recommendations based on our conclusions to improve our overall performance. So this is the first part, the first week. Changes.
As you can see, there was only 2 days that the daily totals were less than 150, and that would be less than 75% occupancy. There's only 2 days, so that's pretty good for the week. So using the line graph, standard, very high, again, and deluxe and suites low, but as you see, as the week gets towards the middle, it slightly increases, not as much, as well as this, as well as suites, slightly increases, and standard decreases towards the end.
And so here, we averaged out the amount of rooms sold. So we have 35, 16, and 100. And you can compare that to the rooms listed over here. Under 200 rooms total, we have 125 standard, 25 suites, and 50 deluxe. So we can see that the average for deluxe is 35 compared to 50, 16 compared to 25, and 100 and I'm sorry. I shouldn't touch it. And 100 compared to 125. So we haven't yet reached our maximum for an average. And Justin, if you can explain
for the maximum rooms sold, for standard we had 105. For suites 19, and for deluxe 37. And the minimum rooms sold were 33 for deluxe, 12 for suites, and 95 for standard.
Okay. So even at our max, we didn't reach the highest amount selling in the first week.
This is week 2, same situation. The average room sold were slightly similar, just a little bit more for week 2. As we said in the beginning, week 2 was our best week out of April. Max room sold for standard was 115, so just needed 10 more to max out. 20 for suites, 37 for deluxe. And minimum room sold was 31 for deluxe, 13 for suites, and 95 for standard.
And once again, we have two, for our daily totals, there are 2 rooms that are less than 150, and that just means it's less than the 75% occupancy number that we were trying to reach. So 150 out of the 200 is 75%. And this is week 3.
same situation. Again, only 2 days is less than 150 out of the week for yep. And average room sold, same. Very similar to week 1, with 100 standard, 16 suites, and 35 average room sold. And max min, same. 37 for deluxe, 19 for suites, 105 for standard, 33 for deluxe for minimum room sold, 12 for suites, and 95 for standard.
And for the percent of occupancy, they all pretty much use a similar trend of starting low, getting high, and then going low again. And this is week 4. Okay, this is the pie graph again. The same data, but just reflecting that still within the end of the week, there's still the 2 days that are less than 150. So we maintain a similar pattern throughout the weeks, and the average max and min are pretty much the same as well.
Okay. So for this is the summary sheet. So we have as you can see, all 4 weeks very similar, except for week 2 where we had 728 rooms sold for week 2 for standard. That was the highest out of all 4 weeks. And as you can see, suites, very similar, just week 2, one up. Deluxe, it went down for week 2, but for the other 3 weeks, it was 245. So we noticed that we had a 23% increase in for deluxe, 11% for suites, and 66 for standard.
And for standard, it's for the deluxe and suites is actually a decrease, and for standard it was an increase. Compared to the amount of rooms sold, we took the deluxe suite and standard and divided it into the total, and that's how we got the percentage increase and decrease. So standard is once again overpowering in the amount of rooms sold, and deluxe and suites fall next behind.
Okay, for a conclusion, we noticed that the average min and max of rooms sold are the same except for the second week of April. Very similar, as we said during the whole presentation. The daily totals for each week at the end of each week fall below 150, so 75% occupancy, only twice. And the percent decrease for the deluxe and suites, and increase for the standard rooms.
So we wanted to suggest, our suggestions or recommendations were to push sales towards the outer ends of the week, seeing that the sales increased towards the middle of the week, and approaching the holidays to push sales for the other deluxe and suite rooms, so that standard is not the highest amount of rooms sold. And that will help us increase the occupancy to be above even more 75%, because it seems like we stay at that same 75% bracket range. And
That's it, guys. Good job. Very good job. Okay, congrats.